Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing CSS Battle Daily Target for July 23rd, 2025. Okay, I haven't solved this one yet. I've been enjoying making these videos, doing it off the cuff. It's a good challenge. So as always, first thing we need to do is get a game plan for the layout. This is pretty simple. We can set the body to display flex, set it to a flex direction of column, and then each one of these is going to be a container for the whatever three elements, right, in a line. And then we put these three elements inside that container, set it to display flex, leave it to the default value of row, and then for all of this, we're going to center everything with justified content, line item center, well, both center, excuse me, and then we can just give, you can spread these out with the gap property. Okay, so we need to set up our elements. So this is our first container, or the top container I should say. And then we're going to have three rectangles inside of it, and they're identical, so we can get away with calling them all B. And then we set up our next container. And because this is going to have the same properties as A, it's kind of different children, but the same properties, we can leave that as A, right? This will help cut down on your characters. And then we've got a new element here, we're going to call C. And then we've got B again in the middle. I'm looking at the second row here, right? So C, B, and then another C. I use letters of the alphabet to label my elements. Cuts down on your character count. Alright, so this third row, you can use A again because it's the exact same, right? And then we gotta have a new element, which is gonna be D. And then we got a B again, right? Because all these ones in the middle are the same, right? Alright, then, oops. D, and then this would be the bottom row, the fourth row. Leave it at A. And finally, we've got E. One more B. And then E. Okay, so that's all we need to do for that. Then, we'll set the body and A. Both of these are going to be display, flex, justify contents, center, align items, center. And they're all going to have the same gap, right? Because the gap between body are these little spaces here, and then the gap between A are these spaces here, and it looks to be the same dimensions. And if I was a gambling man, I would guess the gap is going to be 40 pixels. And I am a gambling man at the moment because I am guessing. I don't know exactly what that is. Cool. Then, let's finish up the body. The body, we also need to give it flex direction column, right? Because all the containers are going like that. We don't need to set A because row is the default. So we're going to give it the backgrounds. Beautiful. Okay. Then all these elements inside, so C through E, D, and E. Shouldn't there be one more? B. Yes, there should be. So and B. So B, C, D, and E are all going to have the same height. guessing 40 would be the same as the gap, whatever it is. And then a background of this yellow color. And finally, all we need to do is give everything a width. So let's start with B. So I'm going to guess that the width is probably twice whatever the height is. So we're going to guess 80. All right. So a lot of things off here. Let's start with the low-hanging fruit. Whenever you're using flex direction on the body, you need to specify a height. So we're going to give it the full height of 300 pixels. Okay. Then, why is that like that? So this is not what I'm expecting to see at all. We should have flex. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I didn't make any typos. Sometimes when you make a typo, it can just mess it up just subtly. This is really, oh, and there it is. See? I'm glad I did that first. Okay. Now that's exactly what I want to see. It's not correct, but it's a lot closer. So we need to mess with the gap and the height to start. Let's get that correct. That's wrong. So I'm hoping this is it. This one as well. Okay. Looks like the height is 30. It's the gap that's off. And you know, before I move forward, let's get the width correct from. I'm gonna check this too before we move forward because this can mess things up too. The body has a default margin. Sometimes you need to reset it. I think we do. Yeah, we definitely do because that was causing some funny behavior. Now the height looks correct. So let's fix this. It's wrong. Gaps may be different. So let's get rid of this. Let's just make sure we can always put it back. So gap, we're going to say 35 pixels to start. And that's too much. If you look at the middle two elements, like these two rows, that'll help us fix it. So it's too much. Let's try 30. We got it. Okay, turn this off, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncomment this and try 30. If that's correct, yes, it is. Great. All right, so we're all set with that. Okay, the rest of this should be a piece of cake. We just need to set the width for the rest of these elements. So we can start with C. Sorry about that. No, I'm gonna do something here. Let's start with D. I think this is half 35. No, it's not. Okay. 30. Sometimes there's a pattern with this. 30. So, I don't know. Maybe there is no pattern here. Let's grab C. Too small, 30. Try 50. That's a little bit off, right? Oh no, that's perfect. Great. So it seems to be going down by 20. So there is a pattern. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna guess that E, more likely, and it looks like this, is 10. Nope. Oh, is that right? Perfect. All right, great. there you go. So that's perfect. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of all these comments. And next we're going to put everything on one line by getting rid of all the white space. This will help cut down your characters. And then get everything on one line. See what we got. 100% match. Fantastic. Okay. Before I end this video, I think I want to solve it again with grid. So we can kind of see how that works. The only reason why I didn't jump to that initially, because this is kind of gritty, is the columns are going to get a little tricky, right? So you're going to have these, there's going to be 7 10-pixel columns. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and do it just for fun. And we got a score of 604. See if we can cut down our characters with grid and decide which one we like better. I think flex is going to be better, but I got the time today, so I'm going to go for it. Alright, so with grid, we need just to count all the elements and create those. So 1, 2, 3, well, 3 times 4, 12. We need 12 elements. That's pretty simple. Use math if you can. Alright, so there's div 1. Copy, we're just going to copy this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whoops, 10, 11, 12, and these all need to be different. So using letters of the alphabet cuts down your characters. Not a good practice in real life. Works for CSS Battle. This is kind of a pain. Okay, L. Alright, great. Let's create our style tag. Oops. Now what we need to do, or the first thing I think I want to do is well, we're going to look at the body. So body, background, margin of 0. Let's reset that margin. And then we're just going to set up our grid, template, columns. Okay, crap. I wish I would have remembered these dimensions. It would make that a lot easier. I believe this was a width of 70. God, I can't remember. I already forgot. And then this was like 30. I remember this was 30, right? So let's go with that. So 70 plus 30, 100 plus 70, 170 plus 30, 200, 270. So we got 130 left over. That means that this is 65 and that's 65. So 65 pixels, 70 pixels, and then 30 pixels. Oh crap, I'm doing this all wrong. I'm totally doing this wrong. It needs to be, we need to look at this bottom one. Okay, so we got 65 pixels, 10 pixels, it's going to be 7 times. Pixels, 10 pixels. And you know what? I'm going to look something up real quick here because this is Pete CSS grid. Yeah, there we go. We want to use this. This is it's going to be a lot better. So as opposed to doing all these 10 pixels like this, we can just say repeat. And I forget it's the amount of times. So 7 times. Whoops. Wrong screen. 7. And then looking at a comma. You can tell I don't use this very often. Yes, we do. So, comma. 10 pixels. Alright, great. And then the space in between is 30 pixels. And then the rectangle in the middle, 70 pixels. And then we have this business here again. Cool. So our columns should be correct. And I'm going to go ahead and test this. And the way I'm going to test this is we're just going to take A. And we're going to give a background of the yellow color. We should be seeing it, but we're not because we don't have any rows. Oh, and we also don't have display grid. It might pop up. Oh, it does pop up. Great. All right, this will be a really great way to test this. That is perfect. Now let's check. I'm going to put this in a different selector because we're going to put all these elements in that one. So A, so grid, we're looking at columns right now. Grid column 2. That is definitely wrong. Well, no, it's not. That's correct. What am I saying? Because I keep forgetting we're looking at the bottom one, right? And this might even be a little bit hard to see, but turn this on. Yup. Oof. Do we need 8? What's going on? I'm confused. No, I know why. I know why. It repeats 7 times, so it's column 2 through 8. Okay. Okay, we're looking good. Alright. Oops. Okay, we got an issue there, right? Because we forgot. 30 pixels. Alright, cool. And then the repeat is fine. I already know it's going to be cool. Alright, so let's get the rows together. Grid, template, rows. Now this should be actually a lot easier. Okay, we're going to turn this off. So I'm going to guess that that's the same dimensions as the sides, 65. And then the height, oh my gosh. What was the height? I don't know, was it 35? Gap was 30. Maybe it was 30, I thought it was the same. Shows how terrible my memory is. So then we need, if that's the case, well, if this is the case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We just have to repeat. Repeat 7, 30 pixels. Okay. Cool. All right, so we're gonna move back down here and we're gonna test all this. So grid row 1. Okay, that's definitely too big. Let's try 55. I was way off. 45. And that is correct. Okay, good. So 2. That's correct. And then the rest of them should be good. And actually, I'm going to try something here so we can see this better. Grid column 2. So let's put in 4. All right, yeah, we're good. Okay, so I think that's all we need. Good. Then what we can do is we can start putting everything in the right place. And this becomes that's the hardest part about it, right? What we just did. The rest of this is going to be a piece of cake, right? So there's going to be 3 elements in the grid row 2. So we want that to be in its own selector, right? And then it's going to be grid column 2 through 8. Column 2 through, actually 9. Sorry about that, I meant 9. Okay, and now we can just do this for all these, just get them in place, right? So by default, they're going to start at like in the first row and first column. So these are both grid row 2, and then this is going to be this is 9, this is 10. So B is going to be 10. There's going to be a bunch of them, not a bunch. There's going to be 3 in grid column 10. So we're going to just put that and leave it, come back to it. Okay, now we need C. And this is going to go here again. C. And this is going to be, so 1, 2 through 8, 9, 10, 11, so 12 through 20. 12 through 20. Grid column 12 through 20. Now that is wrong. Why is that wrong? Okay, I don't know why. There's 18, 19. Okay, yeah, I just can't do math today, apparently. All right, good. All right, let's keep moving. So then I'm going to kind of speed this up a little bit because this is getting a little slow. D, E, and F. I'm going to look at those 3. I'm going to grab all 3. Keep my rows together. This is going to be grid row 4. Okay, now E, so I'm going to go here, and then we just need to get D and F, going to be similar to these, so let's copy this, D, right. Nope. Oh man, I totally screwed this up. I screwed this up really bad. Now I remember. They were incrementing by 20 pixels. No. They were no, I did not screw this up. We did this right. We could have done it a little bit better, but I don't feel like we're doing all that. So 2 through 9. What am I doing here? Crap. Should be 4 through 9. That's what we want. Great. And now we can grab E. And E is just going to be this minus 2 off the last number. So it should be 17. good. And why do we lose E? Because I call that E and it's supposed to be F. Okay. Great. Is that moving? No, we're good. Okay, let's go to the next 3. So it starts to move pretty quickly once you get all your bases covered. G, H, and I, R, copy this, all grid row, 6, good. We can put H here. G and I will be very similar to this, so I'm going to just go ahead and copy this. Change this to G. Change this to I. But now we need to get rid of 2 of those. No, whoa, I'm sorry. It needs to be 2 more. 6. And this needs to be 2 less, so 15. There we go. All right, last one. Almost there. Copy these 3 again. K. Oh, no. J. K. And L. There you go. Let's get the correct row. Copy. Grid. Row 8. All right. And then we can put K in here. Perfect. Last thing we need to do is just give J, K, I'm sorry, J and L correct column. And this is going to be 8, I believe. Yep. And then copy this. We're looking at L, and this needs to be 12. Right? Okay, good. We're perfect. All right, so I think this is probably going to be a lot more characters because you see we're at 460, we're up to 884. But let's do the thing. Let's get everything on one line, get rid of the white space. See what the verdict is. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more characters. I think the score is going to go down. But hey, it was fun trying to do that. Okay, delete. Yeah. That did not work in our favor. Whatever. Let's go and submit it. Cool. 100% match. Our score went down 4 points for the characters. Whatever. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hopefully it was helpful. If it was, please like it. It helps my channel to grow. And if you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you again real soon.